Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Colin Benini, and I am the governor from the great state of Montana and your host of Power Live. Today we will explore the ins and outs of the power world, from financial takeovers to political struggles. Power Live will show you the true power of information. Alright guys, so today has been one of the biggest days in power history. Today was the 33rd presidential election that took place. This was the first presidential election of Power 7, and it was a wild one. Probably the most wild election we've seen since probably early Power 6, or if not that, even before then. But without further ado, let me switch screens over. Here we go. This is the final map, and I have to say that we are going to be congratulating the newest president of the United States, I think the 14th or 15th president of the United States, President Patrick Higgins. Higgins has won the 33rd presidential election, which I believe it was probably one of the probably the craziest election I've ever been a part of. And Higgins will be the 18th president of the United States. But let's go back to the map. Like I said, this is the map right here, but we're going to go through how we got here. How did we get to this moment? Alright? So let's start. This morning, at about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the map looked like this. This was the map right here. This is how it looked. We have, as you see, the electoral totals. We have the Democrats had 333, the Republicans 146, and the Conservative Party, which is shown in yellow, had 59 electoral votes. This is what it looked like, but the map would soon change. It would soon flip all over the place, and we're going to start with the first round of flips, which happened at about 11:45 Eastern Standard Time. And that was when the GOP put a lot of money into flipping the following states. We had the state of Minnesota was flipped, the state of Idaho, state of Iowa, Arkansas, Louisiana, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and then lastly, the big one. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Mississippi was flipped, and Alabama, and also the state of Texas was flipped in favor of the GOP. This meant that the GOP had a 273 to 259 electoral lead at about noon, Eastern Standard Time. This, however, did not stay for long. The Democrats had very quickly moved to flip back the state of Minnesota, as well as the Democrats pushed very hard to flip the state of Georgia, which sent the GOP into a bit of a downward spiral. The GOP weren't expecting Georgia to even be considered a swing state, and had to put a lot of money into Georgia because the Dems had pumped over, if I had to guess, probably over $10 million into the state of Georgia. As the GOP were working on getting Georgia flipped back, the Dems were able to take control of South Carolina, Iowa, Arkansas, Idaho, and Louisiana. These states were taken back by the Democrats as the GOP was struggling to deal with Georgia. Throughout this whole time, Texas was then flipped back and forth between the conservatives and the GOP before the GOP finally took a hold on Texas. Then the GOP made a last-ditch effort to go for the state of New York. However, that effort was thwarted by the Democratic Party, and the GOP did not have enough money to take over that state. So, as we see here, let me make sure I got the map right. The final map for the presidential election looked as follows. The state of Arizona was also lost, but yes, the map that you see here is identical to the map that actually happened. The final electoral total was 329 for Patrick Higgins, 203 for Trajan Nim, and then 6 electoral votes going over to Charles of the Conservative Party. Now, let's head back and let's talk about power. Let's talk about the future of power. Patrick Higgins is the new president. Like him or hate him, he is the new president of the United States. Let's look at the Senate here. Higgins is going to try to get his Senate passed. The Democrats, I'm going to try to get his cabinet passed. The Democrats have 33 seats in the Senate, and as far as I know, they are aligned with the Conservatives, which hold another 7, so that's 40 seats However, there is a coalition of members between the GOP, the NUP, and the NDWP who will be working to stop this cabinet if at all possible. So it's going to come down to these third parties over here, the Liberal Democrats, the Black Panthers, Democratic Socialists, the LOM party, and the Libertarians. They're going to be the ones who decide. If they vote yes, then the noms will pass. If they vote no, then the noms will not pass. So it's going to come down to those third parties. It's going to be quite interesting to see. And in regards to the House of Representatives, the House is actually looking even better to stop the nominations, as the GOP hold a plurality in the House and will try to stop the Dems from getting any sort of cabinet passed. We will see how that works out for the Democratic Party, but like I said, the Democrats have won the presidential election. The alliance of the GOP, the NUP, and the NDWP was not enough, as the Democratic and Conservative alliance did hold strong and win the election. But everyone, thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Power Live for Power 7. This is just a quick recap. The 33rd presidential election, like I said, was the craziest election we've ever seen. People from both sides, I'm sure, were sweating. There were 503s all over the place. People were just absolutely just had no idea what was going on for parts during this. So, like I said, this has been a crazy election. Patrick Higgins is the president, and we all need to accept that. It doesn't mean that we have to accept the cabinet, but we do have to accept that he is the president. Alright, guys, so like I said, thank you for tuning in to Power Live. We will see you guys next time as we continue to expose the true power of information. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and God bless the USA.